Greetings, heroes and Force users of all ages, and welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. As always, I'm Dino Nicandros, and I'm joined by Alyssa Simmons.
Hello.
And Daniel Dawson.
Hello there.
And my dear listeners, you have reached episode 100 of Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. What started as a humble Star Wars podcast is now a humble Star Wars and Marvel podcast and various other things.
He uses the word humble and in quotation marks.
What if we were humble first and now we're cocky?
We are arrogant.
We're full
people.
of it.
It took us 100 episodes to realize just how good we are.
But here we are.
No, it took Iceland and France.
You don't climb to near the middle of the charts in France and Iceland without being damn good at what you do.
That's right. Damn it.
Well, folks, we owe you not one, but two Moon Knight discussions today on episodes 5 and 6. As you know, Moon Knight concluded this past week. So this is episode 5, Asylum, and episode 6, Gods and Monsters. And by God, it's safe to say we're Marvel fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron Man.
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
Also guest starring on this episode is my dog, Maggie.
Yes, you can kind of hear her a little teeny bit.
Just a little
so
She's obviously having the best time in her crate right now.
We want you all to feel like you're in our living rooms. That's the goal.
Said,
right.
Why am I not a part of the 100th episode? Why?
Guys, 100. We started this in February 2020, before the Dark Times.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
before.
Yeah, you were
Right
the
before.
first. You said the first words, Dino.
You did.
And I've said the last.
Yep, that's
See ya.
this is it. This is it. We said from the very beginning we were only doing 100.
We only said we're
100.
and that's
however long it takes.
Yeah, I was like thinking about how much has happened in our 100 episodes as far as first of all, content.
Yeah, like how much
goes.
we've covered.
And second of all, how much has happened in the world and in our lives.
World events
and wow, what a like
I've had 3 babies.
incredible.
And that's not counting all of his bastard children.
But it's just like so weird. I feel like years and years ahead, like we'll be able to look back at this podcast, whether we're still doing it or not, and just be like, what a like little like interesting time capsule, like recorded time capsule of this time of life.
Yeah,
like
as long as iTunes is still around,
I mean, it might be called something else, but
Right.
yeah, it's just it's crazy, but I'm really glad that we started it, and I'm glad that we're still doing it.
Me too.
I am too,
love you
and
guys.
And I love how, like, over time it's picked up steam. Like, in the beginning, we were like, oh, we don't really know what we're doing. This is just kind of fun.
We still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we
that
pretend
part.
a lot better.
We have better microphones.
Yeah,
now.
we did get better microphones. Or at least you guys did.
And that took us about a year to figure that out. If you all knew what the turmoil and the just sadness of like, why does this sound delayed?
Why are we
Why am
echoing?
I hearing things in the background? Why does my picture not look good? And then we figured out very simple solutions to these problems.
It's because I'm gay.
It's because
That's
Daniel's
why.
gay.
That's right.
Only you.
Yeah,
Only
right?
gay.
No, only me. My God.
Well, yeah. Happy 100.
Happy 100.
Happy 100.
I don't even know how. I wish we did some statistics and told you all the things that we've covered in the meantime, but maybe we'll do that and it'll be fun.
Yeah, maybe that's an Instagram post.
Yeah.
But if you have been listening from the beginning, or you came recently and somehow listened to all 100 episodes, or just the Marvel ones, or just the Star Wars ones, thanks for listening.
Yeah,
And
we
obviously,
love you guys.
this is, we like talking to each other, but we really like engaging with all of you. So,
And 100 episodes, we've made $0. So this is all definitely not for the money. That's for sure. It's because we love it.
But I'll throw a statistic at you. We have nearly cleared 9,000 total downloads on 100 episodes.
Wow.
So that's we've got
900,000.
9,000.
9,000 over 100 episodes.
90
can you
million?
90 million?
Oh my God, we're
So it's
George
safe to
Lucas
say
should
we
give
have
us
a
a call.
very it's safe to say we have a small but devout band of Mary followers, and we appreciate
Yes.
every single one of you.
they're all named Mary.
The
Yes.
whole group is called Mary.
9,000
I
Marys.
have a thing for Marys. So-
Oh wow. Well, should we do before we get into this craziness, should we do like a life update? Dino is out
What are
of
you
town
doing?
doing a job, and tell us about that, Dino.
And
I'm
your place is haunted. What?
Yeah, we need details really about that.
I am in Ogunquit, Maine. I'm preparing to play Sonny Bono in the Share Show at Ogunquit
Not Bono.
Playhouse. Not Bono.
Sonny Bono.
It's Bono with a sunny
That's for
disposition.
another time. And as Alyssa said, I am convinced my lodging is haunted.
Well,
As it is an
what makes you feel this way?
The look of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So you don't
okay.
feel like it's not like the feeling of being watched or like.
Oh, I'm sure I'm watched.
Oh.
And you're cold all the time.
Yes, I am cold all the time. Like
Well, I mean, it is like
summer in Maine doesn't really start until I think June.
Ah.
So it's been 40s and 50s.
I've heard somebody say that camping's not the same unless you're camping in Maine.
What?
That was a song.
Is that a song?
Yeah.
All right.
My friend did like a summer gig at some like camping place in Maine, and like they made that song up for.
Oh,
their...
I was like, should
Sure.
I know that song?
No.
no,
I
absolutely
shouldn't.
not.
No, I
That
shouldn't.
is a
Was that a John
deep
Denver?
dive.
Like
If we have any listeners in Maine that have actually like heard that
There
song.
are just truly a butt ton of summer camps in Maine, though.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
well, and I've never been up this far, and it really is a beautiful place. And I'm actually looking through our podcast statistic breakdown to see if we've ever had listeners in Maine.
Oh, that's
Oh.
a thing?
Let's see.
Yeah, you can see
Wow.
by region. Hmm.
Okay, so
Looking by
we'll
region.
add in some like beep boop bip sounds like while you're doing this.
In the
Make
U.S.,
it sound
Or
like
we'll make
it's-
them beep.
I don't believe. Well, no, actually, this is.
You have to
Yeah,
believe.
I don't believe. Let's see, all time. Let's see,
You have
all
to believe in the
time.
magic of Maine.
This
All
Maine
time.
musical. Maine. Just change the words to Maine.
Yes.
Right.
Who
From
put
Maine to
the
Maine.
Lobster out of the sea. Maine.
Maine.
We have never had a listener from Maine.
What?
Well, I think that
Had
might
four
be.
in
You
New
know what?
Hampshire.
Maine can
That-
suck my ass.
No, that's your job there now, Dino, to get us
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
one listener from Maine.
Well,
Get
let
us
me tell
a
you, like
listener.
the cast I'm with when May the 4th came around a few days ago, which by the way, May the 4th be
Oh,
with
happy
you.
May the 4th.
Belated May the 4th be with you.
Belated. We didn't have any
About 5 or
content.
6 people. About 5 or 6 people in the cast showed up to rehearsal and understood.
oh,
No, I'm
good.
not going to say.
You're not going to
understood
complete the
assignment.
sentence, but
no.
they understood.
They did what was necessary.
Good.
And,
Good.
They
Um,
killed the younglings.
they killed he killed younglings. But anyway, so that's the reason for my absence. The last
So
why
if
we
you're
had to
in-
combine episodes.
If you're in that area, go see. If we somehow get a listener in Maine,
Yeah, we
go
need a
see
li-
Dino in the Share Show.
Could
Alyssa,
you
how are
imagine?
things
like,
on your
you
end?
could be potentially the only listener in Maine, whoever you
Oh
are.
yeah,
That would be very exciting for you.
that would be.
Yeah,
For you.
for
For
you. Definitely
be
not
clear.
for us.
Alyssa, what's going on?
Oh gosh. I'm in rehearsals for another show, Not Sperry Farm.
Constantly,
you are.
constantly newing new shows.
Just never not rehearsing.
Never stopping, never sleeping, working, making.
Yeah, and never stopping, never. Yes, it is a really cute can show for the
Adorable.
summertime in the Birdcage Theater called Miss Cameo Kate's Western Burley Q Review.
Burly Q.
And I'm playing Cameo Kate. So
Star
if you
role.
come to the farm,
Subtle
that's
flex.
where I'll be.
Wow.
Delightful.
Very,
And
very exciting.
Dino, I'm Daniel. Tell us
and
about
Daniel.
Dino and Daniel, but just Daniel. Tell us briefly about your trip.
Oh my God! I got to meet
right.
Jesus Christ. You guys.
Good.
I mean, honestly, I kind
You
of
did.
figured because like we were like I went on a cruise, a 7-day cruise, because like they're basically giving cruises away right now. Like they're like, please go on a cruise. Yeah, and in fact, they actually ended up paying me to go on the cruise because I actually,
Oh my God.
I won a bunch of money
you
on
won.
the
The slot machine.
on the slot machine.
Won.
I just like put a couple bucks in, and it was just like, so that was
I
amazing.
cannot believe
I was like, I
that.
can't complain about anything now. But yeah, it was really crazy. We went to Greece, Israel, and Cyprus, and yeah, and honestly, I mean, I knew that part of it was going to be, but it really did feel like we were taking like the Jesus tour. we went to the old city of Jerusalem, and we got to see
Wow.
like literally all of the things. We like basically
Cool.
followed Jesus's footsteps. It was like, but yeah, even if you don't believe in any of it, like it was just you could feel the heaviness like of
Sure.
everything, and like because like people would like were literally like walking out of like let's say the tomb of Jesus, like literally sobbing, like just
Sure.
like so affected by it. It was very powerful to see. It was cool, and also just to see all those religions all just shoved into this little tiny space and like sharing this space, you know, to some degree at least, and. And we were there at a very contentious time too, so we were all kind of like crossing our fingers because like it was the first time in like I guess 30 years that Ramadan,
Yeah.
Easter, and
Eastern Passover.
Passover.
all happened
Yep.
at the same time. So like
Mhm.
everybody's like,
Jesus, Jesus.
I kind of want to see that musical. But yeah, so that was it was a really great time, and I went with my vacation instigator friend Laura. She always is like, I found a deal, Daniel. We're going on a vacation. I was like, okay, I trust you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
it was great, and yeah, I'm back, and I'm
You're
still
back.
Well, welcome back. We're glad
Thank
you're
you
safe.
very much. Yeah,
Mhm.
also say
Wow.
Moon Knight.
Well,
Question
should
mark?
we talk about Moon Knight?
That was a show. It happened. The show is over already.
It is, and I'm really sad.
So I'm gonna start all of this off with I was reading in an effort
You
to kind
were
of catch
reading?
up on the analysis of
Mhm.
of Moon Knight because I kind of I watched both of these episodes late at night and they kept me up and I haven't
Yeah.
really like gone back to think about them. But
Yeah.
a guy named Joshua Rivera, he writes for Polygon, and I thought he summed up how Moon Knight was wrapped up very nicely. And he said, it's rare that a Marvel project leaves things weirder than we found them. And hopefully, if there's more,
Yes.
there'll be room to get weirder still.
That's legit.
Oh, that's great.
And if we're working back to Frontier, like that's exactly where we are. I don't know about you guys, but even before we got the post-credit sequence, which is maybe the most consequential in a long time,
Yeah, I was like, this could have been a whole episode, to be real.
but it was like I don't know what happened here, and it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
It
very
was
cool.
So mysterious. And we kind of talked about this, I think, during WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
Just this idea of the MCU leaning into the mystery element of the comics, which
Yeah.
is so prevalent in comics. And we haven't seen that much of it in the MCU. And it's just really thrilling and weird. And
I'm thrilled.
I'm thrilled, and I love how weird it is.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there wasn't like out of all of the MCU shows that we've seen so far on Disney Plus, there hasn't been like there wasn't a whole lot of like connecting the MCU dots in this show.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there was a couple things that were like, oh, that's a new really large thing that you just told us. Like the one that like really kind of like made all my bells and whistles go off because like it was so like because it was a mystery, and then like that hippo was just like, this is what it is, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
The fact that like where they were was the Duat, which is like the underworld, and they're like, oh, is this what the afterlife is like? She's like, oh no, there's a bunch of afterlives. This is just one of them, you know. And it's like,
yeah, that was a cool explanation.
and then she didn't even bother, like she like didn't even mince words. She also mentioned the one from Black Panther.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yes.
They called it the ancestral plane, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, that's one of them, you know. And I was like, oh,
Oh.
cool. Okay, these are new rules. Great. It was very cool.
I love things like that where it's just a line or two of exposition,
Mm-hmm.
but like does so much for world building and explaining. Like they didn't spend more than like 15 seconds on that
No.
piece of information, but now we have that piece of information, and it's like, oh, okay,
And what's
cool.
really cool, like it's so interesting too, because I just got back from Jerusalem and I'm like, religion. Like this particular like the way that they've written this is like so inclusive.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Yes, like it
Like not like a lot of religions are, you know. It's like
no,
it's
it
either
even
this
gives
or
credence
that's it.
to like whatever you believe in.
It all
Marvel
exists,
is basically saying it's real,
but just in a
which, like,
different.
that's
plane.
cool.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is. I
yes.
really like that. Like,
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, yeah, especially in like Egypt,
mhm.
the idea that like there is truth in lots of different things is very prevalent in the history there.
Yeah.
So that's like a really, really cool thing to put into the show.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it probably all, however you want to, if you are a religious person, it all started as the same thing.
Right.
And then now
Interpretation
Yeah.
happened.
There we go.
and then humankind happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
right, yes.
but
Exactly.
yeah, I love the look of this show so
love Lamp.
much. I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
Yeah, the sets were cool. I
Mhm.
loved the music. Oscar Isaac's like,
I had heard a rumor that and it's funny that you brought up like the budget of like at least the overall like beautifulness of it. There was a consideration that they made to have a few of the Eternals to be
Yeah,
in
I saw that.
the
Yeah.
episode, or at least one of the episodes, and they're like, let's use the money like where it's more needed.
I'm really glad they did that.
Yeah, me too. Same. Yeah, it's interesting that they would even tell us that, but like, I am glad that they did that.
Yeah, I think I saw that article floating around that it was
Mhm.
like, here were several characters that almost were in Moon Knight or whatever.
And as per the usual, I can't credit it because I didn't take the time to write it down. So
Fair enough.
Well, 100 episodes and nothing's changed.
we've learned nothing.
If anything, we're consistent.
That's right. We are very consistent.
Yeah, Alyssa, you mentioned briefly Oscar Isaac.
My boyfriend.
I had a feeling, and I think I said it like when we were doing our Moon Knight for Dummies, that Oscar Isaac was going to become like one of the like the chief talents of the MCU, and he
Hail
did
to
the chief.
disappoint. Yeah.
God,
yeah,
he's so
he
sexy.
was just so freaking fantastic in this, especially when you think about that the majority of the scenes, I mean, he had someone standing in for himself as himself.
Right.
But like he was the finished product that we all saw was him acting with himself.
Which is insane. Yeah.
Um
And it really
And-
did. And that was something I was actually, because I mean, most of the time I was just like, really engrossed in the story, which says a lot. It means that like you're not really thinking about all the bells and whistles. But a few times I was thinking like to myself, like, which one of them did they film first? Like I'm just curious, like who, which version of him he was acting off of more, I guess.
Yeah.
Because one of them he had to, act off of nothing. Like he was just, you know what I mean?
And I don't know
as far as his
yeah.
delivery goes.
I'm sure they had what I'm saying is I'm sure they had a stand-in that was acting with him.
Oh,
Of
certainly,
course.
yeah.
And reading the lines and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I wonder which one I wonder if he got a choice of like, okay, like day one of shooting, we're doing this scene. Who do you want to start with?
Yeah, that's kind of my question. Exactly. Because then you like, and whatever the choice you made with that character will, because
Inform
acting
what
is
happens.
reacting. It'll inform what you do with the other character. So I can't wait for the behind the scenes of this one for sure. It's gonna be very cool.
He was just so good, and
Yeah.
I really, really, really love how in depth these Disney Plus Marvel shows are getting with the mental health of these characters.
Yeah.
And
And
with Wanda and with Loki, and now with
Bucky.
with
Yeah.
Bucky,
literally
and with,
all of them.
yeah, and I just like, I think that is so important and good on Marvel for leaning into that, because
We all really need that right now.
as we've talked about, the comics were all very indicative of the time that they were written,
Yep.
dealing with specific social issues during those times, and right now in our world, mental health is being talked about more than ever.
Yeah.
And I think
Even
that
the
it's
Jonas Brothers are talking about it.
oh my gosh.
You've seen that commercial, right?
Wow.
No, they got a commercial for Headspace
Just one
or
of them. I
something.
think is it Nick Jonas? I think it's Nick Jonas. Yeah,
Oh.
he's like, la 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 la, mental health, and it's like about some like online help.
Oh,
thing.
online
Yeah.
like therapy or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Yeah, I just like more people are talking about that, and like, there's becoming less of a stigma about going to therapy and
Yes.
about
Although my mom still hasn't figured that out yet. Bless her heart.
generational
Yeah.
difference.
It is
there.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just so fascinating, and I now put Oscar Isaac up with like Tony Collette in United States
Sure.
of Terra with his performance in this, because
It was rad.
it was so good, and we haven't even met everybody yet.
Yeah. Well, and like, okay, so that probably was maybe one of the biggest like surprises for me
Post-credit,
was the fact
yeah.
that they held the last, well, at least the last
We
as
knew
know
that
it,
we knew that the third altar
existed.
was making themselves known.
Right. But we didn't
But-
actually meet him until the very last frame, which is just so
Well-
what a bold move.
And so did you?
And I'm curious if that was always their plan, because I know that there was some rewrites towards the end, and like they kind of like I think there was originally gonna be 7 episodes and they made it 6. This is all alleged, but
Sure.
And I wonder if they're just like, ooh, I know a way to make it exciting for the second season. Let's, but it was very, very bold and interesting move that they.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the climax of the episode, during this knockdown, drag-out fight, we don't see how it ends.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm sitting there going,
What?
What the heck?
wait, we're about to end the show this way? We're about to end the show this way.
Yeah.
Which was
I'm either, like,
such a mirror image to the first episode, because the
Right.
first episode, when the very first time he blacks out,
Yeah.
Steven blacks out,
Yeah,
And there's
right.
a
wakes
bunch of
up,
dead
and
people all
there's a
around
bunch of dead people with the bloody scarab in his hands.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like we're on the 6th episode now. Same
They're
thing
still
has
not showing
happened,
us.
and it's another person.
Now, I mean, I will
So-
say that, like, it is a very cool way of storytelling because it's like mystery, mystery, mystery. But like in practical wise, it's also much cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
Because
I
you don't
think
have to do like
I
this
think it's
crazy
necessary
fantastic-
though, because
I-
if we're
yeah.
trying to establish that, especially now that both Mark and Steven were not aware of what just happened,
Right. Yeah, and so and speaking on that, it's really cool that it's sort of like a story of like two brothers sort of like meeting each other for the first time and like becoming like best friends at the end, or like their arc was just so cool because they like started like not trusting each other and being and it's so crazy that I'm talking these people as if they're separate because they are separate people, but and then at the very end, like them the symbolism of it all, like just like holding the single heart together as they like turn into sand and then coming back to life again. It was very, very beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about Stephen's revelation that he was a creation to protect Mark from his mom.
It was very sad.
Oh my gosh!
Like world's
we haven't
greatest
even talked
mom
about
award goes to.
And Stephen was like, I thought I was the original, and like it's.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Woof.
Yikes!
Yeah. Sorry, we're filming this. Well, we are filming this also, but
Woof.
and yeah, if you guys are listening, we're also on YouTube.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Their mother is awful.
Their mother absolutely sucks.
Yeah, woof.
But again, her behavior and who she became was, a product of this unspeakable tragedy that she had to live through.
Right.
And she blamed Mark for it.
And she blamed Mark for it, and then out of that,
and it was obviously definitely his fault, right?
Obviously. Yeah, let's talk about those memory scenes that we got to see in episode 5. So one of our main questions that we have been asking since the very beginning was, did Mark Steven have DID prior to Khonshu, or was that an existing condition?
And it seemed to be definitively answered.
Yeah, so in this memory scene at Stephen Mark's asylum, I'll separate them that way because we have now more than one asylum in this show. They get to witness essentially the birth of Mark's DID and the birth of Stephen. Which was so fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
And heartbreaking. And even in United States of Terra, we didn't get to see. We knew what happened. Like we knew the horrific thing that happened in her life. That after that, the altars started appearing. But seeing in real time this little kid.
They never did show it, did they?
Mm-mm.
I'm sure they had plans to, but
it's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
But like seeing this little kid who is trying to deal with the fact that his brother is dead, and his mother is blaming
it was his fault.
His mother is blaming him for it.
Yeah.
And you get to watch little Mark just telling himself over and over again as his mom is trying to get into his room to probably beat him.
Yeah.
That's not my mother. That's not my mother. That's not my mother. And then you actually witness him change for the first time into Stephen. And I mean, that's like a textbook, like perfect little thing to be like, that is how someone who has DID ultimately
goes through it,
lets their altars out.
Yeah, it's a a really decent explanation. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like a super very bare bones way to look at it, and obviously every situation is different.
There were bare bones.
There were bones everywhere,
bones
and they were
of bears. Oh my god, I missed that part of the show.
But it just wow. I'm still trying to
piece it all together.
Yeah, piece it all together.
I know, same.
But and then ultimately, like you said, the arc of Mark and Steven getting the arc of Mark getting to the place where Steven says to Mark says to Steven, excuse me, like, you saved me.
Yeah.
You are always my superpower.
You were always my superpower.
I mean, kill me.
Because I mean, like, it's so crazy. Like, I'm like back in our like 101, our Moon Knight for Dummies. When I was doing my research and I was reading all the things, I was just like, and it says it would like that his DID was his weakness, and I was like, I don't think so. Like, it looks like it's really his like biggest strength, and then they said it, and then he said it.
He truly wasn't able to survive
without him.
Steven.
Yeah, I think that's so sweet, and it's just like, yeah, very very heartwarming. I want to say I'm not going to pat myself on the back again, but I'm gonna. Here I go.
You will.
I will.
I know
I'm gonna
you
do
will.
it. I was very adamant that I believed that the mother was not in existence, and she wasn't. At least on the phone when he was making phone calls.
Oh, when Steven was calling his mom. Yes, that was not his. That was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad.
But that line that you were always my superpower is like right up there with, but what is grief if not love persevering? I'm like, okay, Marvel.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Well, and just the idea, and this is like so, feely, but like the parts of ourselves that are hard to deal with and maybe it's not as easy for us to accept them.
You're not as convenient
for whatever reason that may be.
Mm-hmm.
Those parts of you make you who you are,
and it's what makes you special.
They make you your own unique individual superhero, and so it just oh wow, they got me. That whole
beautiful.
thing really got me.
Quite beautiful.
Can we talk about my favorite character in
the history
the last
of the world?
two episodes in the history of the world?
Yeah. That hippo is
the hippo. The hippo Tauret. Like,
oh man.
What? The cuteness, hell, the ears, the flicking ears.
Yeah.
Voiced by Antonia Salib.
That
honestly, the detail of that character was like legit. They like her costume,
beautiful.
and
all of the animal, like all.
Yes, Amit when she eventually appears, like whoa,
very cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that they put the money there instead of putting an Eternal.
God, it's so weird. Like, we've gotten to the point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe where we're now bringing, giving animals human-like features, and just the. I can't believe that's where we're at, and we're now accepting it.
This feels like
fantastic.
The most Disney that we've gotten, but it's like
it's true.
But it really is how emotive they are, and
I cannot get over how she's just adorable.
Yeah,
first of
very
all,
cute.
And even when she was like voicing the dead people that
you're
like Harrow's people had
overboard.
just
so funny. Yeah, which they also did a really good job of like. Inhabiting her like arm movements and stuff. It just all looked exact. He's like, I buy that. It was,
and then watching her, like the difference between when Khonshu, like was speaking through Mark, and the difference between Tauret speaking through Layla.
Yeah,
like just like
it's still adorable.
It was still like overwhelming for Layla's body to like do that, but it was just so. It was so cool. And
we got the Scarlet Scarab now.
And then
I was about to say I've been crushing
alert.
I've been crushing big time on May Kalamaway.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Well,
she's
she's beautiful.
Well,
and so talented.
That's what I mean. She's just she's very much Oscar Isaac's equal in terms of
they picked a good one.
Just depth and
a foil.
But you can also like she has a really tough role in that. The man she loved is sharing a body with somebody else, and also was aware of the death of her father and never knew details of the death of her father. Never said anything, and yet she has you can tell she's having just a friggin' blast.
Yeah.
Too, at the same time.
Yeah.
And interesting too. I'm wondering if for season 2, because it feels like they kind of. It was one of two things. It was a sweet moment, but also I was wondering if it was like a hint to like maybe a future episode where she does get to like speak to her father one last time or something like that. Because like Tawaret was going like, oh yeah, your father would be so proud when I tell him that.
I think we're going there.
Right. It sounds like we're gonna have a really sweet moment.
Well, and Kevin Feige said maybe it was yesterday or Friday. He said in an interview about Moon Knight that they had a scene shot of Mark and Steven talking to their mother.
Oh.
And they had to cut it because it just didn't.
It's too
I
fucking
guess it
sad.
was dragging something. But Kevin
I
Feige
want to
said
see that.
Kevin Feige said the scene. I'm paraphrasing, but he said the scene was Oscar worthy for Oscar. Like
I'm
Oscar
sure.
for Oscar.
Well, yeah. Oh man, that would have been really cool to get that.
Yeah.
Some form of closure there.
That was in the 7th episode.
And
that we
to
didn't get.
have her be witnessing both of them.
Yeah.
And to understand that like her actions
Caused
helped
this.
that.
Right.
Ugh.
But I understand the choice not to do it because I kind of like being left with the despair. I mean, it makes them what they are. Like
Yes, and
you
if
didn't
we
get closure with her.
and if we would have had that, it would have been more about her.
Her arc.
Even
like,
though-
oh, she's been redeemed or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love the idea of just keeping it between Mark and Steven.
I am also curious too, like, well, and I have no idea what their plan was, but like, if they were to meet her in the Field of Reeds, like she was like such an awful person to her child. Like, does that person make it to the Field of Reeds? Like, is
maybe
her
it
heart
wouldn't have
truly
been
balanced? Like,
maybe it wouldn't have been in the Field of Reeds.
Yeah, maybe
it
it
would
was
have
somewhere
been
else spooky.
in some sort of other
In the
underworld
sand.
type situation.
Well, in that vein, I really love the convention of Mark in real time having to balance his scales.
Yeah.
Before they.
That was a really cool
and having his honesty being the thing that balances his scale,
Yeah.
being honest about what happened.
They did an extremely good job, the writers, I think, of like having a oh god, what is it called? The thing that like the Death Star plans, the
MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, yes, but like making the MacGuffin into a thing that
Was actually important.
yeah, right. But important for the characters, like character
Yeah.
development. Yeah, like it's basically like using, two things to get like you're getting two for the price of one. It was very, very smart. A good like economy of writing. Yeah.
Ooh, another interesting scene, and this one is just fresh on my mind. I just rewatched the finale.
Finally.
Finally watched that thing. Is when Harrow finally gets to speak to Amit,
Yes.
and his whole
He's, like,
like
ready to
she
die.
she says to him right away, she's like, your scales are not balanced.
Yeah, you're like hella evil. So like, but
And,
then
and she
she's
says
just like,
it's not because of what
It's
you've
not
done.
because
It's
of what you've
because
done,
of what
it's
you're
because of-
going to do.
Yes, what you're going to do,
Yikes.
which
Yikesy.
scary.
Which
Um,
Okay, I'm sorry. You please finish your thought because you just.
Oh
really
no, I
inspired
just
me.
think that like that's a super interesting arc for Harrow.
Yeah.
Because from the time that we've known him until this last episode,
Mhm.
his whole entire goal is to sort of like, I mean, he genuinely does, which is so scary because cults. He genuinely believes that what like Amit's plans for humanity are right and
Yeah,
just and good, like, and he his whole thing of like he loved being Khonshu's vengeance, like he loved killing people for him,
It was pleasurable.
and now he thinks that he has become like he thinks that he has chosen the good and like right thing.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah,
But yeah, it's just
I'm-
it's a fascinating look at that character is so fascinating.
I
to
agree.
me.
I agree. It's very complicated, and I'm curious what you guys think about the ending and where they might be going. And I know it sounds crazy to say where they might be going with Harrow because like he apparently got shot at the end, but also what actually is real, and also does he still have Amit inside of him, and does that make him also superhuman where bullets don't really matter? You know what I mean? Like, are we gonna see Harrow and Amit again potentially at some point?
I think so. There. I mean,
I mean,
there's
you
a
know my
lot of
rules: no body, no death.
there's a lot of obviously mysterious stuff going on, and the whole concept of like, because Amit is not on her own now and using Harrow as an avatar.
Right.
They somehow used that like magic thing
Yeah.
that Layla and Mark did
Yes.
to put Amit inside Harrow
Right.
to make Amit mortal,
Right.
essentially.
So by killing Harrow, now they're
You've
both
killed Amit.
dead.
Now you've
Yeah.
killed Amit. I think so.
So that's the message that they were trying to get across. For sure. But I'm wondering if they succeeded.
I would
in
say
that.
my guess is they're dead. Even yes, there is no body, but like I don't think Amit is going to be the main villain of the Moon Knight
probably
section
not.
of the Marvel
Yeah.
going forward. So
No, he's got to fight Kang at some point. Because there were hints, for sure. We got several Kang hints. We got, like, hints, I don't know. Like, you know.
Ramatut.
Yeah, at least
Ramatut,
Easter
yeah.
eggs. Like, yeah, we got a Ramatut, like, symbol on somebody's jacket, and like, in episode 2 or 3, I can't remember. But, there were several QR codes throughout a few of the episodes that if you scan the QR code, it actually shows a comic where Moon Knight fights
Oh,
Kang.
dang. That is a serious Easter egg.
I
did
mean,
not
like, that's like,
see that.
like,
Wow.
why go to the trouble of showing that if you know, if he's not, if they don't at least like, if he's not
or
a
they're messing
twinkle in
or
the
they're
writer's
messing
eyes.
with you, or it's just WandaVision all over again, where it's just misdirection.
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, we didn't. They never really said the words. Not Mistopheles. What's his name?
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Thank you.
Mistopheles. Magical Mr. Mephisto.
Oh well, Mr. Was there ever? Oh my God. I want to see that musical first of all, and second of all, yeah, it's a little different because they didn't really. This is like a very direct like reference, like a QR code that literally shows, and that yeah, it's very plausible that it could be just like, you know, tickling our funny bones.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very. We've talked about it a little bit. I'm very curious how Moon Knight gets wrapped up into all of the other stuff, and the Eternals would be one good option.
Mhm.
Blade.
When it sounds like they
was another-
were gonna go that route potentially.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So there is a connection there. And it's interesting how they ended it too, with Mark and Steven just not being in control anymore. Like
Right.
we ended as we began, as far as those two are, and somebody else is driving the car now.
And you wonder, like, has Jake been in control the whole time? You know, because the only thing that is the major thing that has changed is now that Mark and Steven are now like basically like brothers, and they are very aware of each other, and they're kind of like high-fiving
They're
each
working.
other.
Yeah,
like,
they're working with each other,
Yeah.
going in and out of their different
it's like,
suits.
tag,
and
you're it.
selves
Now
and-
you go.
yeah.
Now me go. Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah,
Jake is not
the-
playing
Well,
by
and
their
has this been
rules.
this has been Khonshu's end game? Like
Right.
Khonshu's a son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, he
he
even
truly
kind of
is.
he sort of alluded, or did he not even allude? I think he just said, I need to watch the episode again, but like he basically said, like, he's like, meet my real number one, You know,
Yeah,
his like
yeah.
this Jake has been my number one choice the whole time. You know, yeah. Random thought. Back in the when they were going through their memories and stuff, the memory of when the kids go into the cave or whatever, they made a very distinct choice to show them stepping on the bones of like a little bird.
Yes.
And
yeah, it looked like Khonshu.
Yeah, which you know is interesting. So I mean, it could be just as simple as like that's how he like decided that was what Khonshu was going to look like for him. I guess maybe.
Yeah, but then it just makes you like the whole
It really
time.
makes you question
It's just like wonder.
everything.
You're like
The whole time.
What the whole time? Well, it's like what? Wait, what is that though? What is
it?
But I think I keep going back to when I ask myself, what is that? I keep going back to
Because
what
Khonshu isn't
Harrow
normally
said.
depicted with a skull head, like at least in the comics. Unless I'm crazy.
I think he is.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm just.
But
insane.
maybe yeah. When I keep asking myself, like, okay, well, what is real and what isn't? I keep going back to that Harrow line about the pen, where he says, like,
oh yeah, right.
This is a writing utensil for me, but a chew toy for my dog. Both are
True.
Both are true.
Yes.
So it's like when I ask myself, like, okay, is like the ancient Egypt stuff true, or is the asylum stuff true? I'm
And
like,
apparently both are true.
apparently both.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh, my brain is getting to that place that it got during Loki,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where I'm just like, okay, all right. I think I just have to. We all just have to accept a fact.
We might.
We might not completely ever know.
No. Right. Yeah. And I think
that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. And it's okay. And it's cool because it gives us things to talk about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point.
Oh gosh, yeah. When Khonshu released him and he ended up back in the asylum, I was like, what? No.
Huh?
No.
What the hell? Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want that. No.
Every time I wake up.
Mostly just because I texted this to Dino when you were out of town, Daniel.
Yeah.
I just was like, I don't
God, I hate Daniel.
think
I hate
hope he
that
just
guy.
I hope he just stays in Jerusalem.
I hope he sinks in that ship.
I said oh shoot, I lost it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Just.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, let me go back in my text because I don't remember.
Oh dang.
What was the
it.
text
I was
about?
probably half asleep.
Do you remember?
No, because I just lost my train of thought.
Hold, please.
Your text message. You texted Dino when you were on when I was on the trip. And
Well, it'll maybe
it was
come back
all
to me.
about because we were
we
talking
talked
about like
about
what is
music at
real
one
and
point.
both things are real. Because
Oh, here it is. I got
we
it. I
found
got it back. Thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
I said I don't think, and I could be wrong. I mean, we've said things all the time that we're like, sorry, take it back.
Nope,
I'm a
that's
liar.
not true. Everything we
And
say is
I'm-
right.
Didn't know that I wanted that, but I do, and sorry I said that. But I don't think that Marvel and the writers of the MCU would do something like it was only a dream.
Yeah.
Like,
We
I
would be
don't-
angry
I
if
don't
that
think
happened.
that they
Yes.
would, because that is such an old
Trope.
sitcom trope that is just I don't think that it's that.
Yeah.
So
it would have to be
even
like
though I
it-
don't know what's real and what's not real, I know for sure that it was all a dream is
No.
not what is happening.
Yeah, and I guess, even if it was like if it was like everything was a dream situation, as long as it mattered, that's what's important. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I think
if
that
the
there's-
central character has been changed in some way, if the character has had an arc like in response to the crazy dream that he just had or she just had, like that, like if there's some kind of meaning behind it, then I can kind of be like, okay, yeah, sure. But like, if it's just like nothing mattered, it didn't matter, and like,
No,
and
no,
it
I
didn't.
don't feel like that.
Yeah,
could
definitely
be.
not with this show at all. Like, even if it was just a dream and it was like not the only reality was actually real was the very last scene that we saw. If like that was the
Sure.
only real thing, like it still feels like something happened.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
I think in the episode that I didn't get to be on with you guys on
Yeah.
episode 4,
Oh,
Our
okay,
best
yes.
episode ever.
the best one, yeah,
Yeah.
the most incredible Inside the Tauntaun
3,000
episode to
listeners.
date, episode 98 that will
Episode
live in
98,
or 99,
99. Yeah.
Yeah, I originally when we went to the asylum for the very
Mhm.
first time, my thought was that Harrow was using some sort of magic to trap Mark in that reality.
Oh, sure.
That it I know that you both said that he was like in his mind, like, you know, fighting for death, which I also love that idea. But it's like, yeah, what if like the asylum, the Mark Steven asylum is not necessarily in his mind, but it's, I mean, it could be, I guess both can be true.
Sure.
Again, both can be true.
Right.
It's
The
like
point of the
he's
show.
trapped in his mind, but he's trapped in his mind because of like a specific magic thing that's making him see reality as that.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think that they kind of alluded, at least what I thought is that they alluded to is that there was like two portions of the asylum. Like the asylum itself, like with the hallways and everything, that was the underworld. And then the office scenes with Harrow were in his head.
Okay.
That's what I
mean,
gathered.
could be.
Because it was
Could be.
basically every time he was having some kind of a psychological breakdown
Break.
or whatever it was, we would be flashed into this office scene with Harrow, and Harrow is kind of like sort of the embodiment of his like gosh, like, you know, what he's I don't know what the word is. What do I look like? A person who knows grammar?
No. Nobody has mistaken you for that.
No, nobody.
Nobody, not one.
Oh, come on, guys.
What- I'm trying to understand what
Yeah,
you're getting
I'm
at.
not exactly sure. Explain the definition of the word that you're trying to use.
Oh God. No, I don't even know how to explain it. Like that Harrow. If I say it in different ways, maybe it'll come out. It's so hard because I'm also listening to my dog being like, why am I not part of the 100th episode?
Little does she know, she is a part of
She's
it.
been a
She's very
part of
much-
it the
There's
whole
nothing
time.
that can be done.
She's trying to say, Harrow, it's the one word.
She knows the word.
She knows. She's
My
trying-
translator.
Oh
Well,
my God. But I
maybe-
do believe that that the parts in the office are in his mind, and it is
Okay.
his, because they even talk about it. I think in I can't remember. It's either I think it's episode 5. I think so. It's like it and Harrow even I think says it. It's like that he believes that that there are certain ways that the mind like will compartmentalize things so
Yes.
that they can
Yes.
like help them go through something, and it will be depicted as something different for everyone. And then I can't remember if it was Mark or Steven. Like Mark suggests, he's like, oh, you mean like an asylum? And he's like, yeah, I guess it could be an asylum, sure. You know, like
Yes, that was episode 4.
Okay, episode
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously it was a little on the nose, but I think that they were definitely like, I think that's what that is. That office scene is that.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, at least that's
Could
what they
be.
were leading me to believe. They led me that way. But I'll think of the word that I was thinking of. But Harrow definitely. I don't think Harrow in those scenes was Harrow. It's just like it's
his mind like processing
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Okay. Yeah.
yes. I think I understand the word that he's like the
He embodies like
yeah. I know what you mean.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I don't
everybody
think
out
anyone
there.
else does, but
Ah,
But
crap.
I would say like the fist pumping moment for
Mhm.
me of Moon Knight,
The
but
fisting
specifically
moment, yeah.
these last. Nope.
No. Nope.
No.
no, this kind. Party fist.
Whoa, Alyssa, what are you doing?
Yeah, that.
Was the oh my god, it gives me goosebumps. The scene where Moon Knight and Scarlet Scarab are fighting Hero, and he's switching back and forth between Steven
Oh.
and Mark
Fucking
in
cool as
between
hell.
shots. I mean, gets thrown
So
through a
cool.
window. Steven gets thrown through a window, then Mark emerges, and it's like, oh.
Yeah,
God,
there was
this
even like
is-
like a literal passing of a baton, like where the baton gets thrown, and
Yeah.
then Harrow like deflects it, and then it's caught by the
Yes,
other
yes,
And it
character.
was
it
just
was
so
so
seamless. And I
cool.
was
Very
watching
neat.
it. I was watching it with one of my castmates, and I turned to him. I was like, "Okay, this is good shit. Like this
Very
is
good
just,
feces.
This is like
Yes, it's so cool.
at the end of the day, this is what we come for."
There was
and
dope fight
And
scenes, and
we
again,
got to see Moon Knight literally fly over the moon and like cover like with his cape, make it like look like a crescent. That was so
Mhm.
dope.
comic books come to like
Yes,
ripped from the
absolutely.
Very
pages,
dope.
and then in the background you have what's like tantamount to a kaiju fight between
Yes.
yeah,
Amit and Khonshu.
Especially this finale. I was saying to Chassis. I mean, we saw
felt very
Doctor
Power
Strange.
Rangers.
We saw Doctor Strange. It did. Yes, with Megatron. We saw Doctor Strange last night, and I just in this finale of Moon Knight, I just kept being like, I really wish that I could see this on a big IMAX screen.
It did feel like one of those scenes where it should
was
have been.
so massively cinematic
Yeah.
that I was like, I am bummed that I am watching this at home. I mean, I appreciate and I love that I get to watch it at home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I really, oh man,
I felt that way about. I mean, even WandaVision, I'd say yes, I'd like to see that on a screen, but I feel like that's
Yeah.
the only one thus far that I was like, okay, I can watch this on TV. The others,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I need to
see this on a
I need to see
big
this on as
frickin'
big a screen as
screen.
possible. Yeah.
Money, honey.
Well, and I'm wondering, because I always think Disney and Marvel, like they want the most money possible. Let's
Sure,
be
correct.
honest. And so I'm like, if there was some sort of membership at maybe they like partnered with AMC or partnered with Regal or something and did some sort of like monthly Marvel membership
Sure.
where once a month or whatever they would like screen these Disney Plus
People would probably pay
shows,
for that.
I would pay a monthly thing.
There's
Or-
definitely
or,
people.
yeah.
There's definitely people that would. Do
I wonder if
that.
there's a way, like once a week, they, when the episodes are released,
Yes, that's
like-
exactly.
just
like
make it
each
a
week,
Make it a
Yeah,
a
just be
weekly
they're
like
event.
screening
Moon-
the episode at certain
Mhm.
screenings, and I mean,
Man.
they would be.
People would pay for it.
No doubt.
I'd be there.
Yes, totally.
You hear that,
Someone call
Bob
Feige.
Waltiger?
Feige.
We found a way to somehow make you more money.
You're
So,
welcome.
You're welcome.
Check
To
give
exploit
us,
us even further, and I will lovingly do it.
The other moment in the scene that we're talking about right now that just
the check. Blew your
totally
tits
made me weepy actually
off.
was the sweet teenage girl who
Oh,
Layla
yeah.
pulled out of the van,
Mm-hmm.
and then she looks at her and says, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?"
like so on the nose. It was like,
And
yeah,
she was like,
It's like-
"Yes, I am."
yeah,
I
freaking dope.
representation matters.
Yes.
That's all I'll say about it. But like that, how freaking amazing!
So
that-
cool. And she's a
that- that-
badass too.
She's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet Scarab.
Yeah,
Scarab.
I really, really liked this show.
It's pretty
That's-
sick.
I mean,
It was a rare case of, wow, we needed more episodes.
Yeah.
yes, I could have done
Like-
with easily like 3
There
or
were
4
too
more.
few, and I think Marvel
Mhm.
needs to lean into that going forward. Even though it is disappointing in one sense, it's like if your show is doing its job, it will leave you
wanting more.
with
Yeah.
questions and wanting
yeah.
more, and that's how
Certainly.
you justify continuing it.
Right.
And,
Well, they
um,
have set us
and-
up for, like you said, from that that reviewer from Polygon, like
What?
they have set us up for season 2 in a way that like I can't answer your question that you love to ask, Daniel, which is where do you think we're going?
Yeah.
Because I really can't.
other than speculation about characters he might come
Yeah,
into contact
sure,
with,
sure.
I have no idea how that happened because they've made this so self-contained that
Mm-hmm.
which makes it a good watch because you're not trying to balance,
Mm-hmm.
kind of the macro story and the micro story at the same
Yes.
time,
Yes.
which at sometimes Marvel gets in the trap of.
Yeah, which we
Having
love.
to
I mean,
carry-
we
Yeah,
love
of course, that's
connecting
why
that.
we
It's
go back.
brilliant. No one else does it the way that Marvel does.
But
No.
sometimes you can feel like a strain to make sure that they're holding the timeline together while also telling a compelling story, and they didn't have that burden here. But I am so excited to see Moon Knight and the many personalities of Moon Knight
Yeah.
interact with others and how they respond to him.
Yeah. Same.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like it's I mean no, I'm not even gonna say it. Not even gonna say it. Sorry. I was gonna say I was gonna start comparing things to the Multiverse of Madness, which
Yeah,
I've
don't
seen.
do that. Don't
No,
do
no,
that.
no. Dino
Oh
hasn't seen it
baby,
yet.
baby,
I
what a
might be
crazy
undisciplined.
movie.
I might be undisciplined and go late this evening.
Just
I think I'm
fucking
gonna
do it,
I
please.
think I'm gonna do it
I
because
think
I
that you
cannot believe
will-
I have not seen it yet.
I think you should.
Yeah.
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 I
Do
think
it,
you should.
do it while people are
The
super
internet is
excited.
a giant landmine right now. So.
Oh,
Correct.
I honestly
Just do it for your
am
safety.
truly shocked because I saw it yesterday,
Mhm.
one day after opening, and Chassie was like, delete Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook from your phone today. I was like, what am I gonna do on my breaks at work? She's like, read a book, bring a magazine. She was like, don't ruin it for yourself.
Yeah.
Well,
warnings
and
for
I
anybody who hasn't
had
seen the movie
something
yet.
spoiled.
I
Now
know.
it wasn't
Twitter or what?
Yeah, and it was like a drive-by.
Is
like,
it
was
a?
not
was
titled
it
it that way.
A cameo or something or what?
No, it was not a cameo.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
just like a plot point then?
Yeah, kind of like
Oh, jeez.
A
Stupid
full-on
Twitter.
plot point? Dang.
Well, some dude,
who the villain of the movie was.
Oh, gotcha.
some jerk
I was like,
that went to the premiere in London put the plot on Wikipedia.
What? A
I know there
dummy.
I know there is talk of like screenshots of cameos that I have not seen them.
Yeah, good.
I
good.
learned my
Just go
lesson.
tonight. Just go
Yes.
tonight.
Yep.
It's not even long. It's less than 2 hours long.
Yeah. It's really short.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
well,
see the actual.
Any other Moon Knight thoughts before we wrap
I'll
it up?
probably have some.
Oh,
I was
no
telling Alyssa
doubt.
and Daniel, my brain is just not functioning at 100%
Yeah.
capacity.
Well,
but like,
we could also do, if we can make the time for it. We've got a very busy month of May.
Wow,
about to
wow.
happen.
I mean, like with Marvel, but also like real life as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Real life and Star Wars Celebration is,
you bastards.
20 days
God.
away.
Yeah, new news is Dino
Um,
can't go because he's playing Bono.
Some-
Oh, yeah, but we will obviously be doing lots of Star Wars Celebration stuff.
Yes.
We will cover Doctor Strange when that comes out. But if we're still sitting in Moon Knight and still have many thoughts and feels, perhaps we'll do like a bonus episode and
Yep.
I have a feeling.
a week or two and
Yeah.
be able
Well,
to kind of talk more about stuff.
Yeah, and or no doubt that because as you know, with our episodes, that we tend to ramble, and I'm sure that all of our episodes would be lightly dusted with Moon Knight nuggets.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
Well, happy
Um,
100, Tauntauns.
Happy
100.
100.
Here's to the next 100.
Oh my
yeah.
god,
Crazy.
literally insane.
You know,
and
my
Maggie
only
is
regret-
celebrating too.
My
What's
only
your
regret
regret?
is that we did not start this in like March of 2019 in the lead up to like
Oh.
Endgame.
Oh,
That would have been so cool.
yeah. Missed
Well,
opportunities. Well, that's
but-
okay. We got Secret Wars, so
we got
that's the
so
goal.
we've
At that
got
point, we can retire.
So much. We've got so much coming down the pike. So
wow.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. This was Moon Knight episodes 5 and 6.
Yeah.
This is Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
And I'm Dino Nicandros.
May the force be with you.
Always.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.